Hey everybody, this is Tesla for Drop Top Tees. I am here today to do our 3-year, 36,000 mile review on the 124 Spider. It's going to be geared for people who are researching the 124 Spider and trying to decide if they want to buy them, to let you know about the car, what it is, what it isn't, how reliable it is. And as I go through the review, you're going to see comments from other 124 owners pop up on the screen. With some of them, will include a picture of their car. I solicited these online at various 124 owner forums, and it's so you'll get a perspective from owners besides just myself. Because I obviously like the car. I wanted to let you see what other owners have to say about it as well. And you'll see some recurring themes. People pretty much overall are happy with the vehicle and they love the way it drives. But you'll see that in the little comments that come up as we go along. And well, I think we'll start off with an interview that I had a couple weeks ago. I was filming a little bit here, and a guy named Mark parked just a couple parking spots over and walked over to me and wanted to know what the car was. So in the course of that interview, my daughter Abby was filming it, and she kept the camera on when he came over, so I got it recorded and he gave me permission to use his interview. So it's going to cover a lot of things that we'll go over a little bit more in depth in the review as we go. So we're going to start off with this interview, and then after that we'll get back to the review. Mark, do you mind if I put you on YouTube?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, so Mark, what do you think it is?
Dude, man, I don't know. I have no idea.
Take a guess.
Never seen. I don't know. I've never seen a car like this.
So take a guess. Just guess.
Is it like it's foreign? It looks foreign.
It is foreign, that's for sure.
Look
at the logos and see if you can figure it out.
I see a Spider.
Yeah.
Is it called the Spider?
It is a Spider.
Oh, it is?
But who makes it?
I have no idea.
So you know it's a foreign car manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You got that part.
Okay. Is it like some kind of Italian?
It is Italian.
It is?
That's why the color scheme is like that.
Dang,
so you're narrowing down your choices now. Which Italian car manufacturer made this?
Dang, you got me right there.
Guess. I'll tell you what it is after you guess.
Dang, I hardly even know my cars about Italian brands and stuff like that.
Okay. What are Italian brands you know of?
I have no idea. I don't really
know. Then let's skip to that.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you that in a second. How expensive? How much do you think I paid for it brand new with 35 miles on it, including my test drive?
I'll say probably about like.
How much?
Probably about like 50.
50,000?
Yeah.
That's actually lower than a lot of people guess, but no, not even half that.
No.
Seriously. So
yeah, this car is clean.
It's beautiful, huh?
Yeah.
We're just doing a video on it for YouTube because I just went over 36,000 miles on it. I do a lot of YouTubes on the cars.
Okay.
And so I'm doing a review on it for people who are looking to buy one used, talking about the car, and we're going to go over, you know, how good it is, how reliable it is, and everything like that. But I will say, what was your name again?
Mark.
Mark. Mm-hmm. You saw it right here, because we're going to talk about this in a while, how you can go anywhere and people come over and talk to you about the car.
Yeah.
As Mark just proved to you, people, number one, they don't know what it is.
They don't.
They love the way it looks, and they hardly ever believe you when you tell them how much it costs. It's just the way it is.
How fast does it go?
This one, the way it's set up, will go about 160. But it's not really, it's like I was just saying, it's not a race car. It's designed to
go
out
like you can fix it up
and tear up. Well, yeah, you can bore out the motor and stuff and make it a lot faster. It's not going to be like a Mustang will kill me off the line. But when you get to a twisty, curvy road, I'll run away from it. Unless it's like a Camaro ZL1 that's been like basically built as a track car. Any Camaro, especially Dodges, like Challengers and Chargers, because they don't do turns well at all. But this, on skid pad tests, this car right here, stock, and I've lowered it and put on wider tires, but stock, it ties with like a couple McLarens for abilities to go through turns and stuff. It was designed to let you have a blast driving a car at near street legal speeds. And it's crazy. It's fun as hell to drive.
Yeah, I get
Everybody loves them. I could sell this today for more than what I bought it for. Because the used car market right now is crazy. Because of the chip shortage, you know, people can't get new cars, so they're paying a premium for used cars.
Yeah, I just passed on this road right here, and I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, what is that car? I was like, I gotta stop this.
Yeah, it's hard to drive it if you drive around town. At least every 2 or 3 days in a parking lot, somebody will say, hey, nice car, at a red light, because you have your top down, they'll roll down their window, what is that? And it's like, it's funny. I bought it not knowing I was going to have that, but if you're introverted, don't buy it. Because people come up and talk to you, just random strangers come up and say, what's that car? It's like, that's cool. and then they'll guess it's Alfa Romeo or a Lamborghini or something, and you tell them it's like, I didn't even pay $30,000 for it. And they're like, you're lying. It's like, no, I didn't. It's just a beautiful car. They made it look really nice. They're easy to maintain. Last year, either J.D. Powers or Kelley Blue Book, I think it was J.D. Powers, rated it as the most affordable sports car to own in the U.S. over the next 5 years.
Dang.
So, and the reason is the motor. It's not a big motor. It's a 1.4 liter turbo, but it's been used by Fiat since 2010. So all the kinks on it have been worked out. So it's not like this new motor and you're figuring out what's going wrong with it. Let's make it right. You know, we already know how it runs, and it's a reliable motor. And this was built by the same factory that builds MX-5s. So it was 80% of the car is Japanese. It was built by Mazda in a joint venture with Fiat. So you have all the reliability of Mazda coupled with the Italian styling, the Italian motor, and the Italian suspension tuning. So you get the best of both worlds. You get Japanese reliability plus Italian panache.
Yeah.
And it's just an awesome combination. I wish they would have advertised it more. They'd still be making it. They were supposed to make it through 2026. And the CEO of Fiat died unexpectedly in the spring of 2019. And the guy that took over Fiat wants to focus on electric vehicles. So he killed the motor, because in Europe they have stricter emission standards. They were going to have to switch to a new motor to meet the new regulations went in last year that made their emissions standards stricter. And so in order to meet them, they would have had to replace the motor with a different one. And he's like, we're just going to kill it because I want to focus on EVs anyway.
This car is crazy. Like, you don't ever see this on a daily basis.
No.
Like, I never seen a car
We
like
don't.
this.
I mean, I'm the president of the DFW Fiat Club. All right? So I know a lot of Fiat owners around town, but I don't even, you can go a month and drive and not, we call it seeing them in the wild. You just don't see them. Unless we go to a meetup where we know there's other Fiats coming in. You're just driving around town. I think I've seen maybe in 3 years, I've seen 2 other ones in Mesquite.
So when y'all pass right next to each other, what do y'all do? Like, y'all wave at
Wave.
each other?
If we see each other, you wave, jump out of the car, scream and yell, hey, I found another one. It's true. Every time like if you go somewhere and you park and you see a 124 in the parking lot, you go park next side, take pictures. It's like, hey, I found another one. Is this from anybody on here? People get all excited when they see another one.
Yeah. I had to stop and see what this car is. I had to.
It's cool.
Yeah. This car is nice.
Hey,
it was nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you too. Thank you.
Thank you for letting me see it.
Sure. Okay, so for people looking to buy the car, I think it's really important that you understand what the car is not. Because if you buy the car thinking it's something that it isn't, you're going to be disappointed and unhappy with the vehicle. So let's go over 2 things this car is not. Number 1, it is not a practical car. It is not a family hauler. Okay, seriously, I say that and you put up the Beverly Hillbillies moving to Beverly Hills. Okay. All right, well, that's fair. You're only going to fit 2 people in this vehicle. And the trunk, while more than adequate, isn't going to let you carry a lot of large things, especially. Now, having said that, we were last summer, able to take a 9-day, over 4,000 mile trip to Pennsylvania from Texas for the Fiat Freakout in 2021. We were able to take enough luggage in our trunk that we did not have to do laundry even one time during the trip, and that let us go for 9 days. So a lot of people will try to tell you this is just a weekend vehicle. You can't do more than a weekend trip. That's not true. You can do more than that, but at the same time, if you have something big, it's not a pickup truck, okay? 2 seats, perfect for somebody who's single, perfect for a couple. Not a good choice if it's one of your primary vehicles and you have a family of more than 2, because it will cause transportation problems. So just be aware of that going in. If you think that, okay, I have one car that can carry 4 people and so we can afford this, and you have kids, probably not a good idea until you can afford it as a 3rd car that you don't really need it to be practical, especially if both of you work. If your other car goes into the shop, you end up with a car that can't move your whole family. So just something to think about. I'm not trying to discourage you, I just want you to go in knowing what you're getting. The other thing it is not a race car. It looks sporty, it is sporty, it's great in turns, it's great at giving you a crazy amount of fun while you drive, but if your intent is to take it downtown and race Mustangs, Challengers, and Camaros, this isn't the car you want. It does not have flat out speed. It is quick through turns, it is quick once it gets going, but off the line, it's not considered fast. So you can turn it into a fast car if you want to invest thousands of dollars in modifications, but if you want to race Camaros or go to the local drag strip or something like that and show off, be aware you're going to end up having to modify the internals of your motor, replace the transmission with a sturdier transmission that can handle the torque your improved motor will throw out, and it's going to be an expensive endeavor. So don't be one of the few people that buy it that think, hey, I'm going to go out and race people 0 to 60. It's not the car that's not what it was designed for. And so if that's why you buy it, you're going to be disappointed and think it was a bad buy. Okay? So it's not a family hauler. It's not a race car, drag strip race car. What is it? It is one of the best roadsters on the road today. It's the true definition of a roadster. 2-seat, open top, able to drive it in competition. By competition, we're talking like SCCA, track events, closed course, lots of turn events. This is what it excels at. It was designed for 2 reasons, with 2 things in mind. Number 1, it's the 50th anniversary celebration car for the original 124 Spider that was in America, introduced to America in 1966 and continued into the 80s. At that time, it was the best-selling sports car in the United States. So it's an homage to that. There's a lot of styling cues that reference the original 124 Spider. And then it was also designed to give you the pure joy of driving at legal or near legal speeds. And it excels at both of those goals. It is probably going to be the most fun car you've ever driven. So let's talk about some of the styling clues from the original 124 Spider. I'm going to show you a classic 124 Spider. You can see how they copied the hood sculpting on this car. Now, on the original 124s, they had the raised roof in order to make room for engine components underneath. Here, it's merely aesthetic to provide a link to the older 124s. The way the lights come into a V, again, mimics the original 124s as well as they could, considering they have to use the modern lighting system. The sides over here, this line is directly taken from the original 124 Spider, and the tail lights. or a modernized version of the shape of the original 124 taillights. Right? So is the Fiat 124 Spider fun to drive? Hell yes, especially if you get to do it in a location like this. Whether in the city, on a twisty country road, it's going to bring a smile to your face every single time you drive it. Well, it has a 50-50 weight distribution. So when you're sitting in the car, the midpoint of the car has as much weight in front of it as it does behind it, which makes it an outstanding vehicle in turns. The suspension is specially tuned by Fiat, and again, it was designed to have fun in turns, and it does that extremely well. As you will see by the comments that we scroll through, notice how many of them talk about how fun the car is to drive, and it really is. They aren't just saying that. If you get in it, if you can, take yours for a test drive and find a little twisty road to go down, you'll understand what we're talking about. Top down, whipping through turns, you are going to smile. It is, as some people claim, the best therapy session they could ever have, because it doesn't matter what mood you're in, get in this car and drive it, you're going to smile. It's just the way it is.
20 miles per hour. There's Abby's Mustang, black and pink rally stripes. Here you go.
I always catch somebody here. Can't imagine why.
They're seriously going slow.
Slackers! All of you!
The Ford truck's up there about tipped over.
Yeah, I know, right? He thinks he's hot rod. So if you're looking to buy a Spider used, one of the most important questions you're going to have is how reliable is it? So far, they've proven extremely reliable. As we mentioned in the interview with Mark, the motor that it uses, Fiat has been using since 2010. It's in the Alfa Romeo Giulietta, the Fiat Punto, the Fiat 500, 500 Abarth, Dodge Dart. Some of them have even made their ways into some low-end Jeep models. But the point is, they've used it for 11 years. They've had most of the kinks worked out. The only complaint I've seen more than one time on the motor is a very small portion of people report having a valve seal problem where they just replace the valve seals and everything is fine. As long as you're under 50,000 miles, that's a warranty item. It shouldn't be an issue. The most common issue you hear is when you raise and lower the top. Some tops rub right here on the roll bar. Again, it's a warranty issue, fixable under warranty. The other, secondly most common reported problem, and one Itsy has a little bit, is sometimes the seatbelt retractors don't retract all the way. That is a safety issue with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. They will fix that for free anytime it happens. I don't think it even matters if it's under warranty. However, don't quote me on that. As long as it's under warranty, they replace these for free. So the two most commonly reported issues are both warranty items that you can fix under warranty if they happen to rise with your car. Beyond that, and aside all the fix it again Tony jokes, these cars are 80% Mazda. You get Mazda reliability. The motor is Italian, but it's a time-proven motor that you shouldn't have any big issues with. The suspension, it's Italian tuned, but it's using standard manufactured parts. That's not going to be a problem. So unless you happen to get the lemon out there in the lot, you can be fairly confident this is going to be a reliable car for you. I have a friend with over 100,000 miles on his car. I've seen people report up to 140,000, 150,000 miles so far, and they aren't reporting any issues. A lot of people mod them out and take them to the track and race them either on track days or with SCCA type events. So they're getting much harder wear and tear on their car and chassis and motor than you will as a daily driver. They are not reporting any issues. So you should be able to buy the car fairly confident that unless you get that rare lemon, you're going to have a car that's going to be reliable in the future. One thing you may want to think about. For some people this is an issue, for some people they don't care. Fiat does not have a strong presence in the United States. Even from when they started selling this car till now, the number of Fiat dealerships has gone down because they currently only offer a couple versions of the 500X, I believe. And so there's not as many Fiat dealerships around as before. Fiat owns Dodge. You can still go to Dodge, but some Dodge dealers don't want to work on it because they aren't really trained for it. So I would say if you're near a big city, if you have a Fiat dealer close by that can do service work, and then also find out from your local Fiat club or whatever, is there a mechanic in town who works on Fiats? And if you have something like that, that should put your mind a little bit more at ease, that if you have the bad case car that does need work, you have somebody in the area that's knowledgeable on how to fix it. Along the lines of reliability, let me talk to you about parts and modding, because I understand that a lot of people who get cars like this want to mod the heck out of them. Whether you want to mod it or not, availability of parts in case something does go wrong is always a concern. And with Fiat, especially in the United States, not having a strong presence, it is an understandable concern for potential used car buyers. Right now, and probably for the next about 10 years, parts won't be an issue in availability. However, they can sometimes take a while to get to your dealership or mechanic. And by a while, I'm not talking about a week or two. Some people have to wait 1 to 3 months to get the part that they need to do a repair in the vehicle. So just be aware that is a problem right now. I don't know how much of it has to do with the shipping concerns that we see all across the United States. But car manufacturers, when they make a car, usually plan for 10 years part supply as they produce the vehicle. So the parts are there, they just aren't close to you, so you have to be willing to wait a little bit, have some patience to perhaps get the part that you need. Now, along with parts availability, one thing a lot of people that buy these cars like to do is mod them. And rest assured, there are, I won't say a plethora of shops that produce parts for the 124 modifications, but there are numerous. I'm not going to name individual names, but there are at least 3 that I can think of in the United States that stock a lot of parts and make their own parts. Now, the next thing is, because the 124 has so many similarities to the Mazda MX-5 ND, you can go to a lot of the Mazda aftermarket sites and get mods there, especially aesthetic type mods like the sequential side markers, my leather sun visors, even the 124 Spider down there. It normally is the airbag warning, but I got that from I believe Mas Miata, and they stock some things for 124 Spiders even specifically for them. And you can get some functional mods from MX-5 sites, like my hood lift kit. And when it comes to performance parts, I got a strut brace, air intake, turbo blanket, blow off valve. I'm going to get a wastegate actuator. You can get larger turbos. I have a stage 2 tune. I have a, I don't know if you can see it, I have a larger intercooler. I have aftermarket lowering springs. There's all kinds of different mods that you can get performance-wise that are available through multiple vendors. So if you're the kind of person that likes to mod your cars, especially sporty cars, have no fear. It's not as well supported as cars that have sold many more copies in the US, but you do have almost anything you want you can get, and usually from multiple vendors. So when it comes to describing how fun a 124 Spyder is to drive, I think maybe the best description is to say it's an adult go-kart. It really is. Unlike cars that cost 2 times to 10 times as much, where you basically have to risk getting your car impounded to experience what the car has to offer because you have to drive it so fast. The 124 Spyder was designed to let you get those same thrills of driving and the overall joy of driving at legal to near legal speeds at a fraction of the cost of the other cars. So it's a tremendous bargain if you're looking for a car that's just flat out fun to drive. So at the beginning of the video, and as you saw with Mark, who walked up to me and wanted to know about the car, one of the really unexpected aspects of ownership for me was how many times complete strangers talk to you about a Spyder. It's mind-boggling to me. The other day, in one day, I had 5 different people comment on Itsy, and I was just going to a couple stores to go shopping. In the parking lot, they just come up to you, hey, nice car, I love your car, or something like that. When you're at red lights, especially with your top down, the person next to you, you'll see them roll down their car window. What kind of car is that, man? That's awesome. How much does that cost? Or, hey, I love your Alfa Romeo. And you're like, okay. Is that a Ferrari? Is that a Lamborghini? The kids at school where my wife teaches calls it her little Lambo. Although they know it isn't because she's told them, but they still call it that anyway. And people don't know what it is, but they want to talk to you and find out. And then when they ask you how expensive it is, they always ask, what is it? How much does it cost? How fast does it go? And the prices they guess are crazy. I would say the most frequent response, because I always tell people guess. I don't tell them what it is. I say guess just because it's entertaining to find out what they think the car is. And the most common response when they ask how expensive it is, and I say guess, they'll say $80,000. In the video, Mark said 50, but the most common response I get is 80. A couple weeks ago, somebody in a parking lot said, how can you afford a $100,000 car? And I just laughed. I said, it's not $100,000. And he looked at me in complete seriousness and said, 200,000? And at that point, you almost feel guilty to tell him that in my case, because I got a really good deal, I bought it for just a tad under 20,000. And then they don't believe you. It's like, no, you're lying to me. How much did it really cost? But the point is, if you buy a car like this, odds are high that you're going to have strangers come up to you and want to talk to you about it. Fiat barely advertised the car in the United States when it was for sale. People don't know what it is, but it looks beautiful. They'll tell you it looks beautiful, and they want to know where it is, what it is, where you got it, if they can still get it, and just talk to you about the vehicle. Another thing that goes along with that, in a way, is that because of its gorgeous looks, it fits in with cars that are a lot more expensive than it is. If you go to car shows, if you go to car meets and similar things, you will discover that it is perfectly at home sitting in the middle of much higher priced vehicles. We go to something every year here in Dallas called, actually it's in Grapevine, called the Italian Car Fest. And probably 70% of the cars there are Alfa Romeos, Maseratis, Lamborghinis, and especially Ferraris. And you'll have 60 of these other cars and maybe 20 Fiats. And I'll be sitting here by Itsy. It's amazing to me that people will come over and talk to me about this car for like 20-25 minutes when there's a whole row of Ferraris literally 100 feet away. And then at least 2 or 3 times a day somebody will say something like, out of all the cars here, this is the one I wish I could take home. And it's like, what? There's a $250,000 car right over there and you want to take this home? And it makes you feel good, of course, but it's like, it's just, it looks, as the one comment says, it looks more expensive than it is, and the owners of the other cars accept it. It's not like they get all snooty. Every once in a while somebody does, because that's just the way they are, but most owners of higher priced cars love this car too. They'll come and talk to you about it. So like I said, it's kind of an unexpected aspect of ownership. Abby's laughing at me now because this is like my 4th attempt to say this, what I'm going to say. I keep screwing it up because that's the way I am. So my camera person is mocking me. Anyway, when you hear over and over, and not every day, not every time you take it out, but on a regularly reoccurring basis, when you have strangers come up to you and say they like your car and want to talk to you about it, it helps cement the feeling that you made the right choice in your vehicle. It's unique, it's stylish, it's fun to drive, and it's reliable. As my shirt says, happiness is not around the corner when you buy this car. Happiness is in the corner. And if you have one and drive one, you'll totally understand what this shirt says. Okay, so in conclusion, by now it's obvious I like Itsy Bitsy R124. Highly recommend that you go buy one. And you may be asking, why do I have an Abarth shirt on when I have a Classica? Well, after owning Itsy for 2 years and about 27,000 miles, we went out and bought another one. This is Saxy, our Abarth. And that really is probably the best comment I can give you. We liked ours so much. We were taking turns driving it to work, and that wasn't really fun because every other day you couldn't drive it. So when one came available at the very closest car dealer to us, and it was at an awesome price in earlier this spring, we went out and jumped on the chance to purchase another one. So now we have a matching set and we both get to drive them every day and experience the thrill of owning one of these wonderful machines. If you're thinking about buying a 124 Spider, all I have to say to you is, why are you still watching the video? Go out and get one.